We are live baking for the cause today for Matthew and Martha as they are just struggling and doing amazing all at the same time. And I hope that you will come and join me as we do everything that we can to help bring a little bit more awareness to their struggles right now and to the family, to help make it so mom and dad get sleep just a little bit easier, and to make it a little bit easier for them to have the support that they are truly needing, to know that they do have a community behind their back, that there are people out there that are willing to step forward, use their voice, use their skills, use their wallet to make a difference in their lives, because they too are human, just like you. Okay, so this one is for Matthew and Martha, y'all, and we will have the live replay set up on our YouTube channel, as well as you can catch the replay right here where you're watching as well. Please share this out and invite other folks to come and join us as we make some homemade bread and we try to bring awareness to the tribe so that they can have the help that they need, okay? All right, so give me 1 second. I've got to set up this camera because I can't reach any further. All right. Hi. Okay, I'm so excited. You guys are all here. Oh my gosh. So, let me make sure I've got my cameras in a good place. Okay, so please share this out, y'all. Such a good cause, so important, and we truly do need all the help that we can get to bring awareness to the cause, okay? All right? So I will be moving the cameras a little bit as we're going through this. You guys are a little crooked. Let's fix it. Okay, so let me get everyone else pulled up really fast, y'all. Whew. For some reason, I'm actually nervous about doing this drive this time. I don't know why. I'm actually a little bit nervous. Like, how funny and odd is that? Like, y'all might not know this, but this is actually the 4th or the 5th fundraiser drive that we have been a part of. And yeah, so let me get this shared out. So, posting. Got one more share to do, guys. Bear with me. And then we will get baking. I swear, I promise. I promise we're going to get baking. Okay? So, right there. And one more. Got one more. One more share, and then that should have everybody up and ready to come and join us. So, okay, so y'all, if this is the first time that you have ever joined me on a fundraiser, or you have ever joined me on, oh, actually, hang on. Get all the way down here. One more. Okay. Okay, I think we have it all out. I hope. If I missed somebody, I apologize. If I missed any of the groups, or if I missed any of them, I apologize. Help me share this out, okay? So this is a beautiful opportunity for you to learn how to make a difference in someone else's life while improving your own life. So we love to use homemade bread as a way to bring awareness to the causes that are going on in our local community. So we use bread because, let's admit it, there is no other more comforting food in the world than homemade bread. And when someone has took the time out of their day use their own hands and all the things, their time, their energy to dedicate to making something special just for you. It is something that just totally lifts the heart and the soul, and it is so comforting to just have that homemade bread. Honestly, one of my favorite parts of making homemade bread is that you can sit back and you can just be like, oh, like, okay, so one of my favorite memories with homemade bread is actually baking it with my own kids, okay? And I have this almost like a fantasy like memory of baking with my grandmother. And I know I never did, but I wish I had. But I don't know, being that little kid and just looking up at her as I've got my hands in the dough side by side with her, and just that look of, you know, just a grandmother's love looking down at you, and just the absolute comfort that it brings to you. It is just, oh, amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. And, you know, so I would love to share that opportunity, that moment with you, that you can create with your own family, that you can create with your own children or your grandchildren. It is a beautiful thing, honey. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so I will do my best to keep up with comments as they pop up. If you have something that you would love to share out to Sam and her family, please drop your comments down below. Let's give her and her family, her husband, her boys, and those 2 little babies, all of the blessings, all of the comfort, all of the words of encouragement. And, you know, it makes a world of difference. When you are in the struggles, it is just, when you're in the struggles, you feel invisible, honey. You feel like there's no one else out there in the entire world that has gone through something like you are going through. And when you just have that one person that just takes notice of you, acknowledges you. It could be something as simple as just a kind smile as you walk by a stranger, or holding open the door for someone walking through, can change their entire day and their outlook on life in that moment as they are struggling just to keep going forward. They are struggling to pull themselves out of bed in the morning, but yet we do. And we continue to do it. No matter how many things get thrown at us in life, we continue to get back up again. We pull our butts out of bed, even if that is the most difficult, hardest, biggest struggle that nobody else in the world at that very moment can understand how hard that can be sometimes. But you do it. And in the process, you move mountains. You change the world, and you continue to let your ripples of influence touch other people's lives, and to create inspiration, encouragement, and all of the things. Be proud of yourself, because, honey, you're amazing. You're amazing. And we do this out of pure love, because we too are human beings, no different than they are. And it takes a community to make it through this world. It takes family, it takes friends, and it takes a community at your back to make it through those hard times. So even when you don't think somebody's watching, honey. Somebody's watching. Okay, so you want to learn how to make some homemade bread? Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty much set up here. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting everything started. And if you can't catch us during the live, or if you missed some things, swing over to swing over to our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to catch the replay of this a little bit later today. So I can only do so many lives at once, guys. It's just that simple. I can only do so many lives at once. But we also do have additional live fundraising awareness drive bakes that we will be continuing to do. So I may have to update my schedule that I have already made for the drive. But if there are changes, you can always find the scheduled times and lives and where they're going to be at over on our website, so millartistry.com. Scroll down to our announcement section and you can find all of the details right there. Now, if you have not already got your recipe, your free recipe, don't worry, you still can. Just below the announcement page is our free bread recipes. I would highly encourage you to go grab one. Today, we're going to be making our buttermilk half wheat multi-grain bread. This bread is inspired by my signature bread that put me on the map as a bread baker some 15 years ago when I first started really baking bread. Back in the day when I had to teach myself from a recipe book, and for any of you that don't know, learning something from a book is extremely difficult for me, okay? I want to make this easier for you. I want to give you the confidence. I want to give you the courage to go out and do the things that you want to do in this world. Because you matter, honey. You matter so much, okay? So much. You matter. And I can't stress that enough. All right, so we are going to try to keep this on time. And I'm not going to lie, for some reason, I'm actually really nervous. I don't know why I'm so nervous this time, but I am. Oh my gosh, I am so nervous. Yeah, I want. Okay, yes, I've got sound. I want to turn the sound off, and so, all right, let me get my apron and we're gonna get baking. Homemade bread. Now, what you may not realize that okay, so I gotta get my brain on straight. Sorry, I had something pop up over here and I'm like, oh, what is that? All right, so I want to make sure this is going out right. And for some reason, even though this is the 4th or the 5th fundraiser that we've been a part of, for some reason, this one is hitting really close to home for me. And I'm actually nervous. Like, I do these all the time. I'm nervous for some reason on this one. But homemade bread is the most comfort food in the entire world. It's just comfort. It's just comfort, and it's amazing. It's beautiful, and it's something you can learn how to make too. So I want you to swing over to their GoFundMe page. Their links are down in the description here on Facebook, and they will also be in the description for YouTube. And up here on Instagram, honey, click on my bio, and you can go directly to the website and grab your free recipe and go straight to their GoFundMe page, okay? So I've got the links right there on the announcements, and it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and please help share this out. Let's get some love going for Sam and her family and help give them the encouragement that they need to make this happen, okay? Are you guys ready for me to stop talking and actually get baking? Yeah? Maybe? Yeah? So where are you guys at? And, you know, what's going on with you guys? What's your favorite thing in the world to do? What is something you would love to learn to do? I would love to know, okay? What do you want to do this fall before all the holidays and the festivities begin? Like, if you can tell, we've got Halloween starting to go up. We love the holidays. Anytime I have got an excuse to decorate my house, yeah, you better bet I'm like all over that, because we need that little extra pep and that change in our lives sometimes, because it makes a difference. It makes a difference, y'all. It really, truly does. The changing of the season and everything just, oh, it's so much fun. Yeah, I gotta grab my buttermilk. Let me turn you guys just a little bit. Just a little bit, because, yeah. There, now I can stand a little more comfortably. Let me grab my buttermilk. If I can get my bottle out. Okay, so buttermilk. We also are going to need some applesauce, guys. Yeah. Yum, yum. Oh my gosh, I am so excited, guys. I'm excited for fall this year. I am so excited. So I shouldn't need both bottles, but just in case. So there are a couple different types of buttermilk that you can use. There is fresh raw buttermilk that actually comes from making your butter, like way old fashioned, okay? Or you can have your own cultured buttermilk that you make at home. You can buy it from the store in liquid form. You can also buy it in dry form. I know buttermilk's expensive, okay? So I am going to give you a couple little secrets that you can use today, okay? All right, so first, we've got our handy dandy little pan, and we need to warm this up and get it up to temp before we actually get baking. Now, be careful not to overheat your buttermilk. Okay? Oh, and told you guys I'm nervous today. Oh my God, I'm just gonna pour it in there. Yeah, we don't need to measure that. Nothing like that. No. Okay, so we're gonna need 2.5 cups, okay? 2.5 cups. And if you don't have the recipe yet, let me give you a quick rundown of what you're going to need for this. Because I don't want you feeling like I'm leaving you alone, okay? So, you know what? I better open up my recipe and stop trying to do this from memory, okay? Otherwise, I'm going to tell you how to do a slightly different version. I'm going to tell you how to do a different version. Okay, so there we go, right there. That's the one that we want. Okay, so this makes anywhere from 2 to 3 loaves, and it depends on how you actually mix this up. I'm going to show you a way to do it today that is not quite as dense, and it's a little easier to knead. Now, you can follow the written directions on this recipe that come with it that are the fastest time-saving way of doing it, that are actually based on some old pioneer recipe and secrets that I happened to come across a few years ago. And knowing that you all are really struggling or have struggled with finding enough time to actually make homemade bread in this crazy busy modern world that we have, I adapted my own signature bread in order to make it a little bit more feasible and easier for you. So the directions that are written on the recipe itself, when you grab it, you can find it over at moldarchery.com, along with the links to go straight to Matthew and Martha's GoFundMe page to go help them read the stories and the posts that their mama has been writing. Like, I tell you, yeah, they break me to tears. They break me to tears all the time. I'm like, oh. I'll tell you a little more about that in just a second. But, yeah. So this recipe makes anywhere from 2 to 3 loaves, depending on how you mix it, okay? And I'm going to show you a way that makes it a little bit more poofy, okay? So, you're going to need 5 cups of whole wheat and 4 to 5 cups of all-purpose, preferably unbleached, because unbleached, then you don't have all of the added chemicals that come from the bleaching process. Makes for a finer flour, which is great for the speed of making it raise and nice and fluffy and all of those beautiful things. But if you're anything like me, I'm not a chemical person, okay? I'm just not a chemical person. I like things as natural as possible. I like to connect with the earth and to give back to the earth as much as I possibly can, because let's admit it, without the earth in a healthy way, there's no that way that we can be healthy ourselves inside and our children and future generations, okay? Just kind of my own way of looking at it. All right, so you're also going to need 1 cup of old-fashioned oat milk. And yes, if you only have instant oat milk, that's okay too. All right, you need 1/2 cup of milled flaxseed, and then you need 2 tablespoons of yeast, a tablespoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of honey. Let's see, a tablespoon of molasses, 5 tablespoons of baking fats. You do want extra baking fats when you're working with whole grains and whole wheats. It makes it a lot easier to add your knead, and it helps your bread retain its moisture because homemade bread dries out and becomes crumbly very fast. Okay? Okay? Yeah, very fast. Okay, so, and then we're also going to be adding 10 tablespoons of unsweetened applesauce. Okay? Beautiful. Now, yes, this is going to affect the sugar levels in our bread, but it also helps cut back a little bit on like the added honey and the added fat so that you're getting a slightly better balance, okay? Like I said, this recipe is based off old Pioneer methods and my own signature bread. The applesauce makes a big difference, okay? Applesauce makes a big difference in your breads. It adds just a little bit of a kick, a little bit of a zing, and it keeps that moisture. And, oh no, it just creates a beautiful bread when you're using it, okay? All right, and then actually we're gonna need 5 cups of scalded buttermilk. So all we're gonna do is warm our buttermilk up, okay? That's all we're gonna do. And yep, I am gonna need my other jar. I was thinking this one was 2.5 for some reason. This one's 5. See, that's why I gotta pull out my recipe book, because I have too many recipes, guys. Just saying what I'm saying. Okay, my pan's about full, so I will just pour 1 cup in here and we will hold on to it. So actually, let me change my pans. So the last time I made this particular recipe by the book, I was doing a half batch. That's why I was thinking 2.5 cups. Okay, so we're going to give this a quick wash so that it's ready to put our water in here in just a little bit, guys. But go ahead and just fill it up right now. Okay, set that over there. And let's get this on the stove and warming up. Okay, so we're going to cook that on a low heat for just a few minutes. It does not take very long at all. And we are also going to want to make sure that we're constantly stirring it because we don't want to accidentally burn the buttermilk, okay? And yes, that does happen. And it seriously, y'all, it only takes a few minutes to make it happen. Okay, so move that over here. And we will set that right there. Okay, let me put this up. All right. Who's excited? Who wants to learn how to make some homemade bread? Who wants to help donate to a beautiful cause? I do. Let me know I'm not alone, y'all. Okay, so let me get everything set up here. So, like, you guys can't see. Let me show you this. Like, we've got, like, all the goodies sitting over here, y'all. All the goodies. Like, my counter is full with everything going on. So, boop, and then I lost you. Look at all that. We got all these goodies sitting up over here. Okay, pop you back on your stand. Okay. All right. So, just a kind reminder, don't forget to share this out with other people, okay? Because this is for a beautiful, beautiful cause. All right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start throwing all of our goodies in here. I need my measuring cups. Okay, so you're going to need just your ordinary liquid measuring cup like I was using just a second ago. You're also going to need measuring cups, measuring spoons. And if you want to bake like I do, it's totally up to you. An ordinary, good quality tablespoon straight out of your silverware drawer. Okay? Okay, so for me, I use this just because it's easier to clean up and it makes it so I can cut down on how much stuff or how much I have to wash up afterwards. I don't like to wash more than I have to. I've got 5 kids, guys, and you know, yeah, we have a lot of dishes already. I don't want to add to that more than I have to. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get the first initial of our dry ingredients into the bowl. And yes, I will walk you through this step by step. So whether or not you already have your free recipe or not, I've got you. Okay, so, and make sure to swing over and help Sam and our family read their beautiful story over on their FundMe page. The link is down below here on Facebook, and the link is in my bio on Instagram. Okay, guys? So we are going to add 1 cup of old-fashioned oatmeal, and if you just have instant oatmeal, that works too. All right. So, and just so I can keep my counter from getting completely full, we're gonna move this. Okay, so let's see. I don't have, this one does not have the whole box. Okay, and then we need whole wheat. So we need 3 cups of our whole wheat to start with. So 1, 2, and 3. Remember, you can get the printable version of this recipe so that you can download and have it right there on your phone, or you can print it. You do you. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 remaining cups here into the lid of my wheat flour bin. This is not something you have to do. This is just kind of a time saver for me. So, and I'm very forgetful on what my count is. So this helps keep me in the levels. So this particular container I have holds the flour perfectly, and it's great. I love it. I love it. This is actually just an old, like, popcorn container. Like, we used to get the really big ones back in the day, like over like Christmas time, things like that. They used to be huge. So that's what this one is. It's an old gift popcorn container. I use these all the time to store my flour in. My flour, my grains, and it's great because it helps keep anything out from getting into it. It's easy to measure from. I can put stuff back. I can put more in. They're convenient in size. They're beautiful. So this is what I use to hold my flour, guys. All right, so let me know where you guys are at. Where you guys at? So is it morning, afternoon? Is it evening for you where you are? Oh my gosh! So this is great. So much fun. Okay, so let me see. I want to make sure that everything is still going out like it needs to. Okay, so I'm doing this on my own, guys. So I kind of bounce back and forth just to make sure everything's going like it needs to. My husband and my older kids took our little kids down to the park to go play while we're working on this, which is really great, and I truly appreciate them. Oh, so appreciated. Okay, so we need our milled flaxseed. So 1/2 cup of milled flaxseed. So now if you don't have buttermilk, you can use ordinary milk on this too. It won't have quite the same zing, but it will work just fine. So, because I know buttermilk's expensive, guys. I get it. I truly do. I don't mean that in any kind of like bad way. So, okay. So this should be done over here. Yes, it is. In fact, I got that too hot. Told you it only takes just a minute, y'all. Okay, so we're gonna move this over here, up a little closer. got way too hot. Okay. I got that really hot, guys. So we're gonna do some cheating. You know what? We're gonna cheat this way. So I'm actually going to add a little more buttermilk to this just for the sake of time and to get it cooled down, okay? So, okay, so we need our liquid between 120 to 130 degrees. Hi, Eddie. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so let's see if we've got our temperature about right. So we need 5 cups of buttermilk, okay? And if you are out of buttermilk, remember you can actually just use regular milk. It will be completely efficient enough. I got mine way too hot, so I was trying to be mindful and I messed up. So, also means I'm going to have to measure out my milk again. That's about right. Okay, 120 to 130 degrees is your optimal temperature for starting your yeast. That's the temperature that yeast loves, okay? Yeah, you do. So it is like the best temperature that you can put it at. So, now that we've got that down to the right temperature, let's get our yeast starter going. We'll see how beautiful I pour this. So we are going to pull out 1 cup of our buttermilk into our measuring cup. And we're going to add our honey and our molasses, our yeast, and optional brewer's yeast. Brewer's yeast is like an additional nutritional supplement, okay? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming in and joining us. It's great. So where are you guys from? Seriously. Like, where is everybody watching from? Like, what's going on in your neck of the hood? Neck of the hoods? Well, that sounded weird. Okay. Apparently, words are not my strong suit today. So we're going to put 1 tablespoon of molasses. I actually got just a touch too much there. So 1 tablespoon of molasses. It's just nice and level with the spoon. Like, it kind of looks like it's humped up, but it's not. I'm just trying to show you the actual levels. Okay? We're going to put that straight in. And we are going to put our honey in. So we need 2 tablespoons of honey. So for the honey, we're actually going to bubble the honey up, okay? So not overly heaped, but just a little bubbled. You know, just let the natural skin of the honey, the water retention essentially, bubble up and do its thing, okay? So, get through all of this, and then we're going to talk about some good stuff, okay? Okay, so give that just a tiny little stir. Not even actually important, but we're going to do it. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of yeast. I buy yeast by the big packets. It's just so much easier to measure out, and it gives you more control over how much yeast you are putting in. So if you have different problems, like maybe you've got like a lot of gassy problems, you can cut back on your yeast. It takes a little bit longer for it to raise, but it absolutely gets the job done. So I gotta open my next package. I knew I was gonna need another, so I went ahead and pulled it out. Okay, so when you're buying yeast, guys, make sure that your packets are fully sealed, okay? Fully sealed. It is so important. I cannot stress it enough. When you buy yeast, you do not want air in that packet, because that usually means that the yeast is already been exposed to atmospheric conditions and your yeast has gone bad straight from the store. It can be brand new and already be dead. And it's heartbreaking when your yeast, you've done all the work of making your beautiful, beautiful bread and all the time into it, and then your bread never raises, and then you end up with what some of my students, well, actually no, this one would be my kid's sister, coined the phrase the dreaded brick bread. In fact, she told me that, you know, she could actually build a house with the number of brick breads that she has made in the past, which just broke my heart, because I didn't know she was even having problems making her bread. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me? I would have stepped over and helped. I would have helped you troubleshoot and figure out what was causing it not to raise up. Like, oh, honey, you should have told me. You should have told me. But no, she didn't. It wasn't until like years later that she finally told me. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I gotta turn off my notifications. Sorry guys, I'm gonna put my finger right on the screen. Otherwise it's going to continue to like doo-doo, go off and off. Okay, this is not enough applesauce. Let me grab some more. Okay, so we're gonna add 10 tablespoons of applesauce. Okay, my beautiful, beautifuls. Okay, so a little bit of coffee, keep me pepped up. Okay, so this is our yeast starter. This is going to tell us if our yeast is beautiful, awake, active, and there's no problems with it before we add it to this, so that we can avoid that dreaded brick bread, okay? Because there's nothing worse than dreaded brick bread happening, okay? Nothing worse, nothing worse. Okay, and I want you to be successful while you're doing this. I don't want you to be encountering all these, all the problems that come with it, okay? Okay, so we're just going to throw our applesauce straight into our bowl. Now, all I ever use this applesauce, this particular applesauce, I only use for baking bread. So I don't worry about a little bit of yeast or anything like that transferring over into my applesauce containers. So this is unsweetened crab applesauce that my kid's sister brings to me, and it is beautiful. Well, that was a horrible noise. 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now we'll do that one. Boodamus. We'll put that over there. We're gonna pop this into the fridge. And we're gonna put our yeast in the fridge. I cut my yeast bag a little short, so my gas gonna spill. I'll change that over into a new container later. All right, I'm gonna give my spoon a quick rinse. Just so I don't have all that going straight into this. Okay, so this is country cooking, guys. This is not like going through and totally making sure everything is measured out perfect and amazing and beautiful. Okay, so we need 5 tablespoons of baking fats. Okay, so when you're measuring this way, bubble your whatever it is that you're measuring in. Put a nice rounded bubble. It should be equal on both sides of the spoon. And when you just need a single, just pull it across the top. Sometimes it can be a little difficult. Remember, not all of these are made equal, okay? They're not an exact tablespoon. In fact, some of them can vary dramatically, okay? So I've actually measured mine out, and mine is actually a tablespoon. So it's beautiful that way, okay? But it's got a nice, good scoop on it too. So that good scoop and that good sturdy handle is important. All right, so let's mix this in. Look at that. Look at that. This right here is the key to successfully baking homemade bread, guys. Right there. All right, so let's get back to why we are actually here. The whole reason why we are doing this bake. We are here to help support little baby Matthew and Martha as they are down in ICU, and and mom and dad are doing everything they can. They've got some big brothers that are doing school and all the amazing, beautiful things that a family does. And, you know, this has just been like a horrible struggle for them. And they don't, you know, and the medical bills that are going to stack up from this, guys, oh my gosh. And all of the surgeries and life-saving, you know, times that the doctors and the nurses have had to step in to, you know, help save these babies as they were born premature, you know, and just all the worries and the stress that mom and dad are going through. I can only relate in my own way, just no different than you. Like, we all can relate in our own way, honey. And, you know, it's just heartbreaking, guys. Absolutely heartbreaking, okay? Oh, like I feel so bad. Like, as a mom, that just breaks my heart. You know, and honestly, you don't even have to be a mom or a dad, a parent or a grandparent. Just being a human being and caring about our fellow humans, you know, it's heartbreaking to see someone going through these things. So, okay, we're going to get our first cup in here, guys. Since our yeast is all beautiful, awake, and absolutely gorgeously healthy. You know what? I forgot to put the nutritional yeast in. So we're going to throw that in really fast, too. So, for some of my neighbors, y'all might not know this, but there's going to be people knocking at your door and delivering homemade bread today. Because we want to help share out the awareness of this as far as we possibly can. I happen to have extra bread sitting in my freezer, so I went ahead and pulled it out. Plus, we have the bread that we're baking up right here, right now. And I'm going to give you guys a whole bunch of secrets on how to take care of your bread today while we're doing this, because I want to help you find the beautiful success and all of the amazing things that you are needing in order to find success as you are going towards your own dreams and everything else, okay? So, there's our 5 cups. Okay, so just going to give this a little bit of a mix. Like, I'm like nervous my bracelets are going to fall off in there. That would not be fun to clean up. Okay, so, all right. But yeah, so honestly, the more I've worked on organizing this, like the drive, and just figuring out how we could best help, and all of it, like, it's never going to be like any kind of hardship. It's never going to happen at the opportune moment. It's never going to happen that way. And I think that's actually why I'm the most nervous about doing this particular live today, because I'm just like, oh, like, what if, you know, what if it's taken the wrong way? And I'm like, but you know, yeah, hard times are never going to happen exactly when we think that they should. They're never going to happen at that opportune moment. And, you know, that's just the way it is. And so let me see. Oh, that's just speaking. Okay. Yeah, it's never going to happen at the opportune moment in our lives. It's always going to be, you know, worst case scenario kind of timing and situation, and, you know, hardships and hard times, they happen in our lives precisely when they are needed the most. And it's hard to realize that in the moments. And sometimes it takes a lifetime to realize how that was good for you. And sometimes you never do see it for yourself. And, you know, I've been there too. And I know you guys have too. And it's, you know, it's just a struggle. And I am just one of these people that when I see pain and suffering happening and there is something that I can do about it, I'm going to act. That's who I am. Like bringing a little bit of relief to someone or something is just, it's part of my nature. It's part of who I am. Whether that is like a kitten, you know, like we've taken in so many rescue kitties this last little while that it's just insane. But, you know, those cats have come into our lives because we needed them, even though we didn't know it at the time. And they've needed us. And it's the same thing with people. People come into our lives when we need them the most. And sometimes we don't hear, we don't see what it's truly about until later on. And I can't tell you how many times I've gone back and watched different videos and taken something completely different away from it than I did the first time or even the second time. Because where we are currently at sets the stage for everything else going on, okay? Everything else going on. And, you know, and we're always going to hear what it is that we need to hear. Whether we just pop in for just a minute, or if we're here for the entire duration of somebody's life, whether it's mine or another creator's, or it's your own, you know, we're going to say the things that need to be said. Even if our words don't quite come out right, my words never come out right. And that is okay. That's okay. They're not going to come out the way that I envision them through those, you know, beautiful rose-colored glasses looking into the future going, oh, this is how it's going to be. The reality of it is far different. And we have to be kind, and we have to be humble, and we have to recognize that the world that we envision versus the world that the reality that we actually live in, the reality that we actually create for ourselves with every decision that we makes, you know, it happens exactly the way it's supposed to. And I used to hate hearing that. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, there are still times that when I hear that, especially when I'm really struggling, that, you know, it's hard to admit that these things are happening for us. It's hard to admit that these things are happening precisely when they're supposed to, that there is some kind of grander plan going on that we don't understand, that we can't see, whether you believe in the universe or you believe in gods or just your guardian spirits or angels, whatever it is that you believe in. You know, they have a way of stepping in and pointing us where we need to go, because there's lessons that we need to learn. We need to see how strong we are. We need to see, but we have something we have to learn. We have to grow. We have to evolve. We have to change. And change is beautiful. It's beautiful, y'all. It's truly a beautiful thing. Okay, we're going to add our salt because I'm really bad lately about remembering to add my salt. So I'm going to add it because I don't want to accidentally forget it. Yes, we are. Because I've been very bad. Now, if you are having problems with your yeast and your bread raising, don't add the salt until after the pre-proof here, okay? And this is called a pre-proofing. That's just what I've coined it. That's what I call it. I don't know what else it would be called. So the first resting, the first proofing. So this right here is also an old time secret, and you can still find it in certain types of breads that you make, such as country loaf, or you can make, or such as bagels, and I know there's others out there too. But you can find it in multiple different recipes. Okay. I'm getting hoarse. But yeah, as I've been working on this project and trying to figure out how I can help best. Now, I know the way that I can help best is to use my voice, to use my platforms, to use my influence, to reach out to people, whether it's through messengers or just making posts or little videos or just sharing the message. I know that the way that I can best help to aid Sam and her family is to use my voice, to use my heart, and to use my crafts, my skills, in order to benefit them. So that is why we're doing this today. We are learning how to make homemade bread side by side. So if you have any problems, you can jump right into the comments right now and go, hey, mine doesn't look the same as yours. Or, hey, what did I do wrong? I'm happy to help, okay? Because I want you to find success in your life too, okay? Because you deserve success too. And we're doing this for Sam and her boys so that they can have the support, they can have the community, they can have the resources to make it through this, and so that they can sleep just a little bit easier tonight. Because, you know, as a parent, there are just certain things you never want to have happen. You never want to have happen. Oh, never want to have happen. You never want to hear. You never want those phone calls. You never want to receive that news. And it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. It is the most terrifying thing in the world. I've had some phone calls like that in the past. In fact, even recently, I've had some phone calls that have just, you know, as a parent, have dropped my heart in ways that I can't even explain. And I've seen our community come together, and in order to aid us, to help us, I've seen complete strangers come in and check in up on us, and to make sure everything's okay, and to offer their words of, you know, well wishes and everything. And I tell you, that makes a difference. It makes a difference. And, you know, just to have family, friends, neighbors step in and, you know, help you as you're struggling to go through it, whether that's emotionally or mentally or physically or spiritually, because trauma, hardships, stress, they affect us the same, regardless of what level we think that ought to affect us. Our body doesn't recognize levels on these things. Either you're stressed or you're not stressed. Either you are enduring trauma or you're not enduring trauma. Either you're scared or you're not scared. Now, yes, you can breathe through these things. You can find the courage to overcome them. And the more you do that, the easier it gets. But it's still the same on your body. And I remember, like, as I've been working on this and trying to find the best way to do this, it really has. It's brought me back to some of the hardships that we had when we were having some of our babies. So I've got 5 kids, guys. My eldest is 20, and my baby is 3. And you know, with my eldest, I was terrified. I was 18, and I had no idea what I was doing. You know, here I am, I'm expecting, I just graduated from high school, I just got married, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I didn't have a clue how we were going to take care of things. You know, I'm like, what are we going to do about money? How are we going to pay for all this? And, you know, our community had us. Our community had us, and that makes a big difference. A big difference. And then, you know, and then honestly, when we had Cass, we almost lost her because I had complications during the delivery with Cass, and I actually didn't know until quite recently. My husband only just told me, just within the recent years, just told me that, you know, right after she was born, because I passed out from just sheer exhaustion. I passed out, and the doctor's like, Mama's okay, she's strong, she's healthy, she's okay. But they actually looked straight at my husband and told him to brace for the worst, because they didn't know if they were going to save our daughter. I didn't know that. I was completely unconscious. I didn't know it. And, but when I came to, she was just there on the warming table. They were cleaning her up, and she was just looking around, all happy, and just completely content. And I didn't know. And I always wondered why my husband got so scared every time I told him I was expecting again. I used to dread to tell him that I was expecting again. And, you know, and then when we had Clara, so Clara was, so our little girl Clara, you see her on my channel all the time. She was a scary ass pregnancy, guys. A scary ass pregnancy. So there's 8 years between her and her brother. We were not actively trying to have more kids or anything like that, but due to my own personal health issues that I was going through at the time, it affected the type of birth control I could use at the time. And, you know, so we knew that there was a chance that we might end up having another kid. We didn't want to have any more. Wouldn't give her back for the world. But yeah, when we had Clara, I was labeled at a high-risk pregnancy. Whew. And I tell you, I can't tell you how many times I cried myself to sleep at night. I can't tell you how many times I felt like a failure. I can't tell you how hard that was. And the constant long travel, like the long drives down to the specialist and everything, because they didn't think she was growing well enough and she wasn't getting big enough, and all like they were truly worried about her weight. And I was getting older. I was right there at that borderline of whether it's safe to still have kids or not. And you know, and it's been a few years since I'd last had a baby, to say the least. And, but yeah, I did. I beat myself up, like, immensely, going, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't able to give my baby what it was that she needed. Something that I should have just naturally been able to do. And somehow I wasn't good enough. I was a failure. I wasn't a good mother to this baby that was growing inside my belly. And like the stress, oh God, the stress, guys, the stress that comes from a high-risk pregnancy is just immense. Like, being pregnant is stressful enough as it is. Like, you're always worried about that baby. Like, that baby doesn't seem to move at the, you know, enough, or maybe that child's just a little more sleepy, or maybe she or he is moving around too much, things like that. You worry about everything because you want to give that child the best start in life. And it's hard as hell, guys, okay? And then being labeled in a high-risk pregnancy, and then you're looking at the medical bills going, oh my God, how much is this going to cost? Like, how are we ever going to pay for all these bills? And it's hard. It's hard. And I've realized as I've been working on this drive, like, how much of that I hadn't fully healed from and dealt with. And I mean, I was terrified. Like, the moment they started throwing, you know, concern, and then they started sending us to specialists in those long drives down to go see the specialist pregnancy doctor and all the additional tests. Like, I was in to see my doctor all the time. I was constantly going in to see the doctor for another checkup, another test that, you know, you normally wouldn't have to go through. And like, just constant monitoring. And it was like every time you have to go into the doctor, you know, outside of like a normal pregnancy like schedule, like you just go in once a month, you know, to get checked up with until you get to the later parts in the pregnancy. And you know, that adds a level of stress that I cannot even begin to describe. And stress is a killer, guys. Stress is a killer. And I endured it for as long as I could until I finally had to just tell my doctor, I'm like, no, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, I am back to just normal, ordinary pregnancy, like checkups and visits. No more stress tests, no more additional lab work, no more, like, just no more. I can't handle it anymore. I'm like, I cannot handle it. The stress of it is going to kill me. I am so worried about this baby that I can't sleep. I can't hardly eat. And you're telling me that I've got to eat, and I can't do it because I just get nauseous every time because I'm so damn worried about this kid. And I apologize, guys. I wasn't actually meaning to go off on that, but you know, I remember seeing that look in my husband's face, the same look that he would get every single time that I had like a sharp pain during any of my previous pregnancies after we'd had my eldest. And I didn't know how they had told him that he had to start bracing for the worst, you know, and if he believed in God, he probably better get down on his knees and start praying that they were going to be able to save her and all those things. So, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But I recognized that fear in his eyes. I recognized how absolutely terrified my husband was. You know, that his child, that his baby was going to die. You know, and you know, it breaks my heart. It does. And the trauma that comes from that, guys, is just, it's immense. Okay? It's immense. Okay. We're going to keep working this in, guys. And so to say the least, first, this particular drive has really hit home for me. And I want to give all the love and the support that I can to them. And I want you to know that you're not alone. Like if you're watching or if you happen to catch a replay or anything like that, I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not alone. We love you. And we're thinking of you, and we're sending all the best blessings and healing energy and just all of the beautiful things that we can possibly send your way. And we want to help in the ways that we best can and how we can. And, you know, we, like, yeah, all the things, guys. So we do these drives because you guys matter. Every one of you matter, okay? You matter. No matter what the hardship is that you're going through, the struggles, the stress, whatever it is that you're going through, you matter, guys. You really do matter. You matter as much as the next person, and we can all pull together as a community, and we can make a difference in their lives and benefit our own lives at the same time. So, today, I'm teaching you how to make homemade bread. Because there's nothing more comforting, nothing more nourishing and healing than homemade bread. And having the skills and the ability to do this on your own, yeah, makes a big difference too. This creates memories. It gives you a chance to just meditate and relax and just unplug from the world and the stress of life and everything else, and just reconnect back to, you know, you. And that brings clarity, that brings comfort, that brings calmness, it brings answers, it brings understanding. It's like when you're out looking for something and you've been looking and looking and you cannot find it no matter where you're looking at. And the moment you stop thinking about it, the moment you stop looking for it, suddenly, boop, there it is. Meditation, it's important. It's one of the things that I love the most about making homemade bread, because it allows me to do that. So, we want to be here to help support this family as much as we possibly can. I went to school with Sam, and we actually just recently reconnected not too long ago, actually, and then everything kind of went to hell for her in her pregnancy, and it broke my heart because I remembered what that was like. And then it continued on, and now she has these beautiful little babies, and every night it's that constant worry: are they going to be okay? Am I going to receive another phone call that, they had to go back on ventilators, they had to, go back in for another surgery or anything like that? And, a good day is a day when nothing happens. That's a good day. That's a good day. Those are happy days. Those are days that you drop to your knees and you thank God or the universe or whatever it is that you believe in, because nothing happened that day, and that's a good day. And the worst days are when those phone calls come in, and when you're asleep at night or trying to sleep at night, and your mind just fills with all the dread and the worry. It's hard. It's hard. Okay. Sorry. Anytime I'm live, my bread bakes always take like twice as long. So let's hurry up and whip this into shape. And I actually need to pull the bread out of the oven over here and get it cooling down. And then we will be packaging those all up and all the amazing, beautiful things, so we can help bring as much support, love, comfort to Sam and her family as we possibly can. So if you guys have not yet, please swing over to their GoFundMe page. You can find the links down below in the description, here on Facebook and on YouTube a little later today. And on Instagram, you can click the link in my bio, okay? And know that every single one of you that interacts with those posts, with these lives, drops your comments, and gives a donation or the kind words or the support that a person needs to hear to help make it a little bit easier to make it through the day. They are appreciated, and they are felt. They are felt by so many more people than you realize. Because when you're struggling, it's not just you that struggles. It's everyone around you that struggles. It's everyone around you that goes through it, each in our own unique way. Everyone that knows your story, each has an emotional attachment to it in their own unique way. And just you being here, just you watching and listening, connects you to it too. And you can make the difference by swinging over to their GoFundMe page and dropping a donation to them to help them have the funds, have the means in order to be there for their children. Not only their two little babies that are in the hospital, but also to their older children that are in school, because they have to deal with this too. And that means a lot. It means a lot, guys. It absolutely does. So, yeah. Alright. This is almost done. just extra flour that's here. Go ahead and put that back in. I'm going to scrape that bowl. Okay. Yeah, this particular drive is really emotional for me. And I talk a lot when I get nervous and emotional. And just all the time in general. I talk a lot. I don't like the silence. The silence means that I have to actually face my own demons. Let's just be honest, y'all. Let's be honest. Everyone has a problem with silence to a point. Silence is beautiful and wonderful, all in its own unique way. Sometimes silence can be very dark, very depressing. So, make sure you guys can see. Maybe. Okay. So this is almost done. Gotta move all my bowls and stuff out of the way. I like to use the loaf to actually just kind of help clean up a little bit of the floury dust off the counter. And it helps make cleanup easier. The counters were like good and scrubbed and salted and cleaned before we started, so we don't have to worry about anything getting into our bread that we don't want in there. And yeah, so we're gonna, you know what, that actually needs just a little more flour. Just the tiniest little bit. All of our glucoses have been released that will make it so our flour, our bread raises up. But we need just a little bit more finer grain in here to help really make this stick together. So, all right, so y'all, make sure you're making a difference because your ripples matter. You matter. You are needed. And you are loved. And right now, Sam and her family, they need you. They need you. And when you help another soul through their hard times, you pay it forward and backwards for all the times that people have stepped into your life, or the universe, or God, whatever you believe in, has stepped into your life and helped you during your hard times. You know, even if all it is you find a penny on the ground, it's a penny more than you had the day before. It's a gift. And we have to be grateful. And we have to pay it forward. So pay it forward, my friends. Pay it forward. Because you never know when it's going to be you. Okay? You never know when it's going to be you that's sitting on the other side, struggling to keep it together. Emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. You never know how far your ripples are going to go. You never know the difference that you can make in someone else's life. You don't. I can't tell you how many people from my past have given me the courage to continue onwards, to not give up hope, to remember how strong, how smart, how capable I am. And I know that you can think of a few times in your own life that someone has just said something kind to you. Someone that has done something nice for you. That has made a difference in your life. And you can make a difference in their life, okay? You can make a difference in their life, all right? And we love you. We do. We love you so much. And yeah, we love you, okay? You're always loved, you're always needed, and you are very important. And you matter, and you make the difference. And creating the future, our dream worlds. It takes us working together to make it happen. Okay, that's just the facts of it. It takes us all working together to make it happen. Okay, so let me turn you guys just a little bit. Don't know if I can get you guys to turn a little bit. Oh, wow, it did. Boodamus. Woo! I turned it without knocking the camera off. Yay! Aren't you proud of me? I'm proud of me. Okay, we're going to turn this off. We're going to pull these out. Alright, so if you keep your bread in the fridge or the freezer, that open because, yeah. You store your bread in the fridge or the freezer. This is how you can heat it back up and not have it go dry, okay? Because keeping your bread in the fridge, it does keep your bread for longer, okay, beautiful? You can keep your bread, you can store it in there for upwards to around 10 days after it's made. Homemade bread, okay? The best place to keep it is in your cupboard, but it only keeps for 3 to 4 days, depending. Like this one, I wouldn't pass, like the buttermilks, I wouldn't push past, about 3 days is about max for buttermilk bread, okay? But then you can keep it in your freezer for up to 6 months. So I throw extra bread into my freezer all the time, guys. Okay, all the time. But problem with keeping in the fridge or the freezer is it dehydrates your bread. It freeze dries the water molecules, the moisture molecules that's in your bread. So I pulled out some of the bread that I had made the other day, and got some just ordinary dishcloth, hand towels, got them wet. Not dripping wet, just got them wet. Wrung them out a little bit. Put these back into the bread tins and cover them with the wet cloth. Put it in your oven at 350. And it generally takes, now I think this varies depending on elevation. So you do you. So it generally takes a good half hour. About a half hour of it sitting in the oven, in that nice hot oven. And it's going to de-thaw your bread. The water is going to rehydrate the bread, okay? It actually rehydrates the frozen molecules inside. So this gives you a beautiful, fresh out of the oven loaf that could have been made far earlier so that you can plan for the future, okay? And so we're going to be wrapping these up as soon as they cool down. And we're actually going to be driving these around, all the bread, we're going to be driving around and dropping off to some of our neighbors with a little note on the bag to help go support Sam and her family. And their 2 little babies to help cover the medical bills and all the fuel and everything that goes into the life of having a child in the hospital, or just a loved one in general, the constant traveling back and forth, and having to get meals on the road or even pay for hotel rooms and all the things. Okay, now money is never going to solve the problems, but it does offer a little bit of relief so that they can breathe a little easier. Okay, and I recognize that and I understand that. So we're going to be wrapping these up as soon as they cool back down, because they're actually really good and hot right now, which is beautiful. And we will be writing up the packages here in just a minute. So we are going to take our pans, and I'm just going to put them here on top. Okay, need our lard again. So you can use lard, Crisco, coconut oil, whatever it is that you feel more comfortable using. So these pans are pretty hot, and I actually don't want to use this loaf. Set it over there so it can cool down. So we're going to let these cool down for just a second. I know I will minimum need this one. And so we're just going to put a good heavy layer of greasing in here, guys. This is what makes the difference of whether or not your bread pops out, or the magic flip, as some of my beautiful bread bakers like to call it. When I flip my bread out of my pans, they're like, it's the magic bread flip. Like, hey, it's just a well-greased pan. But also, like, if your bread sticks to your pan, either it needs to cook a little longer, or next time you need to add more grease. But especially if you're using glass pans. Glass pans are really, really bad for sticking. I have my pans well conditioned, so they actually already have grease that's baked as a small skin on the inside of the pan, which makes it so my bread pops out beautiful all the time. It's the original non-stick, okay? Original non-stick, just like you have with your cast irons. Like, I use cast iron, guys. That's what I use for cooking on, is cast iron. So, yeah, it makes a big difference, okay? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this in here. Where these pans are hot, and it's actually been really hot during the daytimes here, and my house never really truly fully cools down. My grease is almost like on the verge of melting all the time. So I will actually be adding in extra grease when I put my bread in. So I use this particular bucket only for baking. So I don't care if just a little bit of maybe like one of the whole grains or something like that gets stuck in here, because it's going to get used up in bread baking anyway. So I try not to worry about or sweat too much on the little things, because that's just a lot of stress that we don't need in our lives, okay? Let it be easy, okay? Let it be easy. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put our flour up, your salt up, few remaining ingredients that I haven't done yet. We're going to go ahead and put these away. We are going to leave our lard out here for a minute still. And that's what we're going to do. All right, so exception. I'll have to take care of that in a minute. Okay, so we're going to let this sit for just a minute. I need to step away for just a second, and I will be right back. Don't run off, because we've got more coming, okay? We've got more coming. In the meantime, please swing over and hit Matthew and Martha's GoFundMe page, okay? Wait, now I'll be gone for just like 2 minutes. Please swing over and drop a donation for them, because they could truly, truly use it. because you do make a difference. You make a difference in their lives, and every donation is so deeply heartfelt by Sam and her family and her boys, and makes a big difference in her two littles so that they can continue to get the help that they need. And, you know, so everybody can pull out of this in a healthier way, okay? So give me just a second, and I will be right back while we wait for that to rest up for just a minute longer, and then we will continue to talk, okay? Water. Definitely need water. Water. Okay, turn that off. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Thank you for hanging on, guys. Thank you. Okay. So, whew. Can you believe how far you've gotten already? And yeah, can you guys believe how far you've gotten? Yeah? I love you. I do. I truly love you. Okay. Rub some of the stuff out of here. So, you will not find this little rest period in the recipe. If memory serves right, I don't believe I have it written in the recipe. And so this is something I've more recently started doing with this bread, because everyone's like, Crystal, the bread's too dense. I'm like, I know it's dense. I know it's dense. It's supposed to be dense. That's just the way this bread is. But I try to make these recipes, you know, fit well into your guys' lives and what you're facing. Excuse me. My throat is really dry. Really dry. Okay, so I'm gonna put these up really fast, and I've got our little pan of water is boiling over on the stove right now, okay? And I've got the oven cooling back down because it was way too hot. Still too hot, actually. So we just want our oven to be good and warm. Okay, so I like to use the bread proofing setting that I have on my oven. Now, and I know not everybody has a bread proof setting on their oven, and it's okay, I've got you. In fact, this is the first oven I've ever had that actually has a bread proof setting on it. Never had that before. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. It's a beautiful feature, okay? Beautiful. Okay. All right, so we're just going to flatten this out just a little bit. Okay? Okay, so you might be wondering, okay, Crystal, this is all great and dandy and all, but how else can this benefit me besides just having that ability to go help and fund somebody else during their times of need? And don't forget, you can get to their to Matthew and Martha's GoFundMe page here on Facebook through the link in my description, and Instagram, my apologies, my beautiful YouTube family, and over on Instagram, my beautiful peoples over there, you can do it through clicking the link in my bio. Sorry, words are starting to escape me, guys. Okay, so we're just gonna rip through that. It's good and sticky, so it's gonna close up that seam beautiful, okay? So this is what our bread looks like right now. We're gonna pitch the ends. This is what our bread looks like right now, guys. Look how beautiful that is. Beautiful. Okay, and we're just gonna plop it in the pan. We're gonna continue to work this down just a little bit. And we'll see if we're gonna get 3 loaves or if we're gonna end up with 4 loaves out of this. I often end up with extra loaves, guys. Okay, and yeah, just the way it is. No, feels no, we're about the same. Okay, I do want to add just a little bit more to that, though. Doesn't have to be complicated, guys. Okay. So we're just going to give this another roll because I added a little more to it. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're rolling this good and tight. And that will help keep out any air bubbles getting into it, okay? Okay? So, still seems small. Yeah. Just the way it was shaping up. Okay. So these look a little smaller than what I normally would make, so. You know what? I know what we're going to do. We're going to add to them. But you can use homemade bread as gifts for the holidays. You can do it for birthday presents. In fact, I'll tell you what, kids actually love homemade bread. Like coming from like an aunt or grandma and grandpa, things like that. They really do love it. Okay, I know that might seem a little strange, but they actually love it. Okay. Ooh, that one's gonna be way
too heavy. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna have to make 4 loaves with this, guys. Just that simple. I'm gonna have to. Otherwise, these loaves are gonna be huge. Okay. I was trying. Right. But we are gonna have one small loaf with this, so I will be pulling out this pan instead. So this is my small loaf pan. It actually holds basically the same amount of bread, but it is just a touch smaller than my other pans. So, okay, and we're gonna get this one last rolling and shaping into shape form, so that we can make sure that we have minimized the air bubbles inside. Now, if your bread does not look perfect and beautiful, don't worry about it. This is homemade. Okay, homemade is not supposed to be perfect. Okay, despite what you think needs to be Instagram or, you know, post or like Pinterest worthy, homemade is supposed to be homemade. Okay, it's not supposed to look professional. Alright, so if you are one of those people that beats themselves up because it's not perfect the first time you do it, or the 100th time you've done it, don't beat yourself up, honey. Okay, so I'm actually just going to put the grease right here on top because it's melting very, very quickly with how warm it is here in my house right now. And it's actually not even really that warm, but keeping my baking greases at a good temperature to keep them good and solid and everything is actually been really kind of difficult this year. I've never had this problem before. So it's a new one for me to be dealing with. But this is how I have to grease my bread. And you do have to grease your bread. Normally I would tell you just to roll it in your pan and you'd be good. But when my grease is literally melting in my pans instead of actually being solid, that makes a difference, okay? So, we're going to be getting 4 loaves out of this, 2 normal size and 1 small loaf, and that will be absolutely perfect, okay? Absolutely perfect. Now, just because, how about we make a couple of these pretty? We'll make a couple of these pretty. So sometimes my carving skills are amazing. Other times, they've got something to be, you know, left to be desired upon. So I'm just going to do some simple little wheat stock on here. So that's generally what I like to do. I don't know. To me, that's just fun. So we'll put just a little bit of green grass coming up this way. Look how pretty that is. Something so simple. Okay? So simple. You know, and just little extras like this sometimes can make a difference. It just makes it, I don't know, a little more fun. So I'm just doing a straight line and then 2 lines on each side with an ordinary serrated stick knife. Okay? And yeah, we'll go ahead and do it to this one too. Why not? We're already doing it, so let's just go ahead and do it. Okay? So, you know, you can do little things like this and make it look even more pretty. You don't have to do this. You can do this if you want. You can mix it up. You can mesh it up. You can do whatever it is that you want to do, honey. And be proud because this is beautiful. Beautiful. Each one of them is beautiful in their own little way. And this makes a difference in somebody's day.
And I know that my neighbors that don't know that they're going to be getting this bread are going to love it. Simple as that. Okay. Now remember, go help drop a donation for Matthew and Martha. Little tiny babies, Matthew and Martha, and make it a little easier for mom and dad to sleep easier tonight, okay? Because it makes a difference. You are the what makes the difference. It's up to you to do the right thing. And I know we don't always do it. We don't always do it, okay? And I highly encourage you to try. Because we got to pay it forward. And we got to give gratitude. And we have to give more than we ask, okay? And if you feel like everything in your world and your life is just going, honey, give instead of ask. You gotta do the job before you ask for something in return, okay? And if you are not giving back, but you're constantly asking, why me? It's the universe telling you that you're not being grateful enough. You might need a moment to be humbled. And that's a hard lesson learned, personally speaking. All right. And I dropped my hands on. Of course I did, right? My rubber sleeve. Okay, so I just turned my pre-proofer on. If you do not have a pre-proofer, no worries. Kick your oven on, okay? Just kick your oven on before you put your bread in. Don't put it in until after you've already warmed it up. Does not matter what temperature you are, okay? Just kick your oven on. So most of our ovens, especially here in the U.S., are preset for 350 because that's what most of your foods are baked at, is around 350. And so just kick it on and let it warm up for usually about 60 seconds, okay? Doesn't take much, okay? Now, gas heats up a little faster than electrical in an oven, at least from what I have experienced in my own personal usage of ovens. In fact, this is the first time I've actually had my own gas oven, and I love gas. But I used electric ovens clear up until now. So, gas is fabulous, okay? My preferred, yeah, that's my preferred. All right, so just kick it on for usually about 1 minute, so 60 seconds, and then go ahead and kick it off. So when you are checking it, if you don't have a thermometer, so what we're trying to do is get our ovens up to ideally about 120 to 130 degrees, okay? Ideally, that's what they would be at. Now, I have to admit, I don't know what temperature my oven actually does the pre-proof at. Grab my stool. I'm going to sit down for a second. I don't know what temperature my oven actually does the pre-proofing at. So, but if you want your oven so it's nice and comfortable, so think of like a nice warm bath, like how warm you would have the water for a nice warm bath. Not a boiling hot like Epsom bath or something like that. Just a nice, warm, comfortable bath, okay? So, like, by all means, use some common sense, okay? And I realize not everybody has common sense, so that's why I point this out. Just, open your oven and just feel the temperature coming out of your oven. Don't touch your oven, like the insides of your oven, but just feel the temperature. And and you just want it to be nice and warm. You don't want it to be hot. If you can't hold your hand in your oven, that sounds really bad. If you can't hold your hand there, then it's too hot, okay? And if it's not like really ultra warm, yet. Like it would be a really chilly kind of cold bath, let it continue to let it heat up a little bit more for a little longer. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that can go wrong with your oven if you are having problems with baking your bread, because I want you to be successful. So whether you are actively going over and donating and helping Sam and her kids and her husband and all the beautiful things, helping support this beautiful, amazing local family and helping make this hardship that they're going through a little bit easier, or you are just working on the baking yourself, okay? That came off so backwards. So backwards. Okay, do you guys ever say something and like the way you say it in your head just before it escapes your mouth, it sounds awesome, but the moment it comes out of your mouth, you're just like, did I really just say that? Like, it's like, it doesn't actually fully compute in your brain what it's going to sound like until you actually hear it said out loud from your own mouth. I have those moments a lot. Yeah, I do. I'm like, oh, I know exactly how I want to say that. And I say it and then I'm like, oh my God. Did I just say that? Okay, yes, that's what I said, but that's not what I meant. To quote my one of my big brothers. Yes, that's what I said, but that's not what I meant. Okay, so I don't know where I was at. Oh, problem solving with your oven is what I was going to talk to you about. So this is especially true with electrical ovens. So your elements go out. You have a top element and you have a bottom element, and those elements go out. And you can tell that when you're baking things, like things just don't bake up even. Like they both might actually be turning on. They might be nice and beautiful, glowing red when you first turn your oven on, and it looks like everything's good. But then when you go to pull your stuff out, like the bottom is like crisp and the top is still goo. That means like your top element has gone out or it is dying. Like it's time to get a new element. And vice versa, if your top is baking up faster and the bottom just doesn't seem to be baking, it's not baking internally. And this doesn't matter what you're baking, okay? You can use this for anything, whether it's cookies or you're making muffins or a cake or you're baking bread, okay? If your oven is not heating evenly, then one of your elements is going out. So I actually always suggest, and this is something I need to get a new one of, in fact, myself, is to have an oven thermometer. One that you just set in your oven and it stays in your oven, okay? It's oven safe. It's an actual oven thermometer. I need to get me a new one because mine is actually broke. But actually checking the temperature of your oven versus what you set it for is extremely helpful in knowing if your oven is functioning properly, if your thermostat for like your actual oven thermostat is working properly, because thermostats go out, okay? Or if like with electric ovens, you have your heating element, if one of those elements goes out, your oven's not going to be as warm as it's supposed to. So having an oven safe thermometer inside your oven is going to help you in order to keep your bakes come out of your oven beautiful and wonderful, just like they are. Hi, honey. Okay, so that is a great way to keep your oven working at optimal range, and so that your bakes come out beautiful. All right, because we want you to find success in baking your own homemade breads, to find the confidence, the courage, the knowledge, the skills in order to go out into the world and to do it, okay? And, to really just go after your own dreams, regardless of what your dreams are. Maybe you don't actually dream about baking homemade bread, but you would like to, maybe cut back just a little bit on, say, your grocery bill. The bread that I make that I'm showing you right now costs, let's see, the last time I figured out the price, it's been a while, and yes, I know, inflation, right? Inflation. So I'm sure this price has changed. In fact, I know it would be changed. But let's see. So flour actually is roughly about the same it was the last time I figured the pricing up for this bread. So this bread costs like, what is it? $1.25 to make per loaf. And that might be for the whole batch too. I don't even remember, to be honest. Versus paying $5-6 at the store per loaf. That's a huge financial savings for you, okay? And you know what? You could take that savings and go send it over to Matthew and Martha, okay? Yeah, you could take that savings that I've just taught you, that I've just showed you, and give them that little bit extra that you would have been spending at the grocery store instead. Just saying, I'm just saying what I'm saying. You know, there's ways to make this work, okay? There are ways to make it work. All right. You guys are probably like, Crystal, shut up. But it's the truth. It's the truth. You know, and this is also something that you can use to pay it forward or to work on your own savings so that, you know, as gas prices continue to go up, this makes it a little easier for you to continue to keep, you know, gas in your truck or your car, whatever it is that you drive. You know, this is a great way to be able to buy, you know, birthday presents. You know, this is a great birthday present, actually. I can't tell you how many of my nephews and my nieces actually request that I bring them one of my specialty loaf breads. All right. In fact, the most asked for bread that my nephews and nieces ask for their birthdays, not even just my nephews and nieces, I mean like my sister-in-laws, my brother-in-laws, and things like that, neighbors, and they're just like, Crystal, make me a blueberry walnut banana bread. That's what they want. And they're like, Crystal, will you make me the blueberry bread, please, with walnuts? I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And, you know, even just swinging over to my neighbors and dropping off a loaf of bread from time to time, you know, people get excited about homemade bread. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, you want to see a person's face light up. Bake them some homemade bread and go drop it off to them. And you're going to see them go from, they might have been ornery as hell that day, and, you know, or that week or whatever it was, and you drop that off and say, hey, I made you some homemade bread, you know, here you go. I don't even have to say anything else. Just, here you go. Merry Christmas. Happy birthday. You know, I was thinking of you. I hope you get well soon. You know, here's just a little something special from my home to your home. And like the looks that people get, like it melts my heart, guys. It melts my heart. And you can just see their face. They're just, you know, you can see when a person's down, and, you know, whether they admit to it or they're talking about it, and they just kind of have like this glazed, almost like they've given up, or they're just exhausted and they've just been beaten up, and, you know, and they open the door and they're just like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. I brought you something. And, you know, they're like, oh, a gift for me? Really? Why? You're like, what did I do? You know, and it's just because, you know, just because you were thinking of them. And to, you know, and then you see their face at, you know, like they look at it and they're like, oh my God, you made this? Like I can't tell you how many times people have just broke down into tears and just gave me hugs because I brought them a loaf of bread, because I took time to make an extra loaf of bread and I dropped it off to them, and I was thinking of them. And, you know, it's beautiful, you know, and stepping out and helping our community, it is a beautiful thing, and it's something that we do full-heartedly. I can't tell you how many times that We've dropped Christmas off to some of our local families that have just been having a hard time. It doesn't have to be a financially hard time. In fact, most of the time it's, most of the time it's like this single mom that is, doing everything she can, or the single dad, that's just doing everything that they can in order to, build a dream life, a happier life for their children. And they're just working themselves to the bone to make it financially possible. And like, they might not be struggling financially, but maybe they need a new home. Like, housing here in Star Valley is ridiculous. Seriously, it's ridiculous. Like, if you're not from Star Valley, housing in Star Valley is insane. Like, you can't find a place here. You can't. Even like with this house, we actually built this house with our own two hands, and if we hadn't, there's no way in hell we would even have it. We would be living in our camper still. We would still be living in our camper. And it's not even so much as being able to get the property, and just buying raw land is just insane. Or just trying to find a place to rent. Should we talk about rent? Holy crap, rent is more than I pay on my house. And my mortgage is insane. I'm not even joking. And we built this place for a fraction of what we would have bought it for. And that's just because we were down here, tool belts and all, from the crack of dawn till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and still pulling full-time jobs. And like, I was running the business, and I had a 1-year-old, and I was homeschooling my eldest daughter through her junior year in high school. And it was insane. But we made it work. We made it happen. And the amount of love and the joy and just the coming together as a family, because there's no way this would have happened without my family. Absolutely no way this would have happened without my family. We would still be building. We would still be building it. And the interest rate on a construction loan is insane. It's not okay. You don't want to have a construction loan longer than you absolutely have to. Just saying what I'm saying. Like, the interest rate for our mortgage is already higher than I would like. A construction loan, it's a lot higher, right? I don't even remember what the exact percentage was, but you're looking at 11% interest on a construction loan. It's a lot, but you can keep adding to it. You can keep borrowing more until you've got the damn thing done, as long as you can still cover, you still qualify for that full total cost. And but these are all ways that, you can put a little money off to the side to help save. It might not seem like a lot. So we'll say that each one of those loaves costs $1.25 to make. And to buy the same kind of quality loaf from the grocery store, it's say $6. So, that's, just to make the math easier, we'll say 6 1/4, okay? So you're saving $5 with every loaf. Okay, so we just made 4 loaves. So that's $20 that you would have been giving to the grocery store for bread that was pumped full of preservatives and chemicals and things that you can't even pronounce. When you look at the ingredients on the back, how many of you can actually pronounce and know what all of the stuff in that bread is? Because I'll tell you what, if you can't pronounce it, good rule of thumb, you should not be using it. I am completely froze up on Instagram. What is going on? Instagram! Hang on, let me fix it. Let me fix Instagram. And of course, it would freeze with the most obnoxious look on my face. Right? Of course it would. So let me see if we can fix this. So sometimes they just freeze. And there's not a whole lot that you can do. reconnecting. Let's see. Instagram. Are you going to come back on with us? Hi. How are you? Beautiful. All right. Let's see if I can get this to go. Come on. Let's see. What is going on? I might have to restart Instagram. I'm thinking, yeah, we're gonna have to. Okay, we'll just share it like that, and I will. Give me a second, and we'll get Instagram back up. Maybe Instagram's messing up. Okay. Well, in the meantime, you and I can talk. Like, what is going on with my hair? Like, do you see this? Okay, there's a thing you might not know about me, but my hair always looks like bleh on camera. I don't know what it is, but okay, Instagram will have to come back up on here in a minute because yeah, that's just the way it is. But let's come check this and make sure. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Okay. So let's see if we can get Instagram back up. Let's see if we can get Instagram back up. Part 2. Baking for the cause. Maybe. Instagram doesn't want to come back up. Okay, we're going to have to... I'm going to show you all my nitty-gritties back here. Okay, let's see if we can get this back up. My camera won't flip. All right, I think we're just done with Instagram. All right, so you know sometimes you just can't help it, guys. So we are going to here. Give me. So I'm gonna bring you over here since I still have you. I have you. So let me get you unplugged here. Let me show you. Let me show you. Okay, now give me a second. It takes me a second to find a button on here. Look at that. Okay, so yes, I'm breaking my rule. I'm opening my oven. Do you see how beautiful those are raised up, guys? That means our bread is ready for baking, okay? So we're going to get it baking because we do not want to over-raise our bread. So we're going to kick our oven on to 400. No, we're not going to worry about the... Not going to worry about that. Okay. So, flip you guys back around. All right. So, that is the height that we want our bread at. Okay. So, this is a great way to save money. This is a great way to pay it forward. So, you can take... So, we've got 4 loaves in, which would cost you roughly 20 bucks at the store. So, you can take versus the, $5 that it costs us to make it. You know, that's money that you can send over to Matthew and Martha. And, you know, as time goes on, that is also money that you can put towards, you know, filling your car up, paying your mortgage, paying for Christmas and all those beautiful things, you know, it adds up, and you can use the homemade bread as your Christmas presents, and it's awesome. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I want you to go hit their GoFundMe page. You can find it down in the description below. Okay, it's beautiful. Okay, it's beautiful. All right, so go hit their GoFundMe page. Help support these two babies and their family, because you know this is such a hard time for them. And you know it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Okay, it's heartbreaking. And you know, I just want to make a difference in their lives. I do. I want to make a difference for them. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab our bags, and I will be right back, because we're gonna go ahead and start getting all of our gift bags set up for all this bread. Okay. Okay, so if you guys caught my post a little while ago, you see me do this then too. This is an easy way to just help. Help. This gets the word out to more and more people so that they can get the support that they need, okay? I really wanted to bring Instagram back up, but Instagram does not seem to be wanting to. So, I apologize, Instagram, I'm sorry. You're going to have to swing over here to YouTube. Over here to Facebook. Yeah, so, that's just the way it is. Let me find a pen that works. Ooh. Come with me. Actually, this is what we're going to do. So, we're going to be putting their information on this, on these little, beautiful little baggies. And then we're going to be taking these loaves of bread. So we've got the 4 here. We've got 4 more in the oven. Yay! Awesome! And we are actually going to take it around to some of our neighbors throughout the valley. Okay? So if you want to help me, if you're a local, if you want to help me, like, just randomly stop by people's houses and, you know, give them a loaf of bread and help share the news, you know, let me know. Like, seriously, drop a comment or shoot me a message. Because honestly, randomly knocking on, like, whoever's door, it's a little unnerving. It's a little unnerving. I'm a very confident, outgoing, forward person. That one's a little unnerving. Okay, I've got my special little markers and stuff up here. So, let me see. Let me turn you. You guys are like staring at everything. Oh, oh. You're tipping over. Okay, I want my, yes. No. Shit. You know what? Maybe we'll just take these down with us. Because I'm going to lose you guys. I just switched Wi-Fi's on you, and I'm going to lose you. Where are my other markers? Oh, they're over there. I see them. I see them. Okay, I know. I'm moving around, and Facebook is going to hate me for this. Sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. My apologies. We're going back. We're going back right now. I promise we're going back, okay? Yeah, we're going back, okay? All right, so we're gonna do these. We're gonna have some fun. Okay, now I'm not really an artsy kind of person. I know I'm like all crafty and everything else, but I'm not actually an awesome artsy person. So bear with me, okay? And we'll get you guys turned down this way, okay? Okay, so I actually got to pull up. Their thing. Okay, more water. Ready? Are you ready? Let's have some fun with this. Okay, so I don't actually know what I'm going to be putting on here. But let's see. I like pink and I like teal. Those are my colors for this campaign, pink and teal, because pink is all about love and compassion, and teal is about empathy, okay? I don't know, you guys didn't know you were going to learn about color psychology and the spiritual meaning of colors, right? Okay, so let's do, so I'm going to try it with these ones first, and then I'll switch over to my paintbrush ones and we'll see which one we like better. Okay, so that is purple. For the cause, watch me spell it wrong. What baking for the cause with love. For Matthew and Martha. Your donation. That's how we're gonna say it. Let's. I don't like that one. Let's try this one. You know what? No, we're gonna finish this bag with this color and then we'll switch over, right? Right? Okay, so your donation. Guys, I'm really bad at spelling, especially when I am like nervous. Your donation makes a difference. Read their story.
Okay, let's just put it on here. Oh, nope. Fund.me. Okay. E67 28 23 F. Okay. Star Valley Neighbors Helping Neighbors. Look at that. How pretty. Oh, yeah, you think? You think that'll work? I hope so. But I don't want to make it like boot, like in your face. Right? That's a really cool color though. I do like that color. It's a little difficult to read though, but that's okay because it's just Star Valley Neighbors Helping Neighbors. I don't want it to be like the focal point. So, you know what? Let's switch this up. Let's see. So, I'm going to move you guys. Come on. Let's bring you up to where you guys can see. Okay, I can't see what anyone's saying in this position, but let's see. Well, that's a wonky looking heart. Okay. Okay. That one's a little hard to read. Baking for the cause with loves for babies. Okay, you know, the metallic is not working so great on this. Matthews and Martha. Okay, I love it, but it's, oh, when it's upright, you can read it. When it's straight down, it's a little difficult. I spelled that wrong up here. Shh, don't tell anybody.
donation. Your donate makes a difference. Donation. Oh my gosh. Makes a difference. All right. There's 2. Okay. Now, as much as I love that, like you can see it really good when it's upright. When it's upright, you can see it really good. But when it's down, it's really kind of hard to read. So, but fortunately, this is how we deliver our bread. It's upright. Okay. So we are going to keep writing a few more of these out. I'm going to check this. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put the timer on the oven for 10 minutes. And we're going to write out a couple more. Okay, so let's try these other pens. Let's see how these ones turn out, okay? Okay, so I love these ones. These are a paintbrush tip marker. Oh, these are so fun to use. I don't know what color it's going to show up like on here though, so let's see. Star Valley. Oh my god. Like, I can't even spell. Like, really? That's okay. Oh, that is so pretty. Oh, and you can read that one up and down. Like, you can read that one. I like that. Okay, so now let's try this one. Baking for the cause. With love. Okay, that one's good. You guys see where I am? Guys, you can't really see it very well in the camera. I can actually see this one pretty good, so. 7, 2, 8. I want to make sure I'm getting the right number on here. 23F. Okay. 67, 28, 23. Okay, yes. All right, let's see. You know, as much as I like the pink, I think I'm going to go back to the purple. Because, yeah. The purple actually showed up better. Okay, so. It's this one. So, just curious, what color? That one's purple too. Blue. I'm drawing hearts over here, guys. Okay, so I can't see the purple on this one though. I can see the blue. I can see the blue no matter what angle I'm at. So, let's see. And I can read the green at every angle. So we might do blue. Orange. Orange is a good one. Let's see though, can we actually read it? Not really there. Camera's laying down. It's a hard one to read. All right, let's see. I don't think green's going to show up very well, but let's see. Ooh, it's pretty. Pretty color. Well, you can read it. Kind of clashes with the brown, but you can read it. Okay, let's see. What does the dark gray look like? Yeah. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll do that. Gotta find the right ones. So I want pink. Unfortunately, the pinks just don't show up very good. So all right, well, let's try one more. Okay, so the blue showed up awesome. And the black works pretty good on these bags. Some of the other applications I use this dark gray on, it just doesn't work very well. So Okay. Go ahead and turn your bread down. Or your oven, I should say, to, what did I do with that one? Turn your oven down to 380 and set your timer for an additional 8 minutes, okay? These almost seem a little bit gaudy. Okay, so we've got 4. I am going to change these up because some of these are looking, I don't know what, too much. So, we're just going to switch this over to, we're just going to do this, I think. So, because it's a little hard to see some of these, and I don't want it to be hard for people to see because that just makes it difficult. Yeah, we don't want this to be difficult. I do like the blue though. You know what? How about we just try one just like this? Okay, actually, let's switch over to this pen and let's see how this one writes because the paintbrush is actually really kind of difficult on here. So, let's see. No, can't see that one. Don't go on thick enough. It's too shiny. Yeah, let's do that. Hey, that one's all right. It's not as fun. That's all right. All right, let's see. This one didn't show up, but the brush one did. Okay, so it's funny how the different materials that you write on makes a difference and how they actually show up. That one's a lot more fun. Okay, let's get our bread out of the oven, guys. It's done. Let me flip you guys back around for just a second. Let's get you flipped back around, okay? Just for a second. And then we'll write out a couple more bags. And I gotta have a couple more racks. Okay, I'm gonna make sure this is done, okay? Pretty good sound. And that's a little soft on that side. So, okay, that's a little too soft over here on this side, guys. So I need to put this back in the oven and rotate this so that this one edge is against one of the sides of the oven. So let's check the rest of these. It gets the hottest on your sides, okay? Okay. I love that sound. Can you hear it? Sizzle, sizzle, crack, crack, sizzle, sizzle, crack, crack. Oh, look at that. How pretty. Say, my scores didn't turn out very good on that one, but that's okay. They're not very apparent. And that is okay. So, ooh, beautiful. Look at that. How golden brown. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. Like that's fully cooked. Beautiful hollow sound. Right? It looks like it's just the one. Just the one loaf needs to go back in for now. And that's okay. So, turn this back on for a second. Okay, so that's gonna start dinging at us again. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna keep writing these out. Okay, I think you guys can read this one better. Like, how awesome is that? Okay, seriously, how awesome is that? In fact, we're gonna go ahead and put these. We're going to go ahead and put these in some bags, and we are going to, what baggies do I still have? Apparently none of my little bags. Damn it. Oh, my bread. I don't have any small bags left, so I'm going to use our big bags, and that will work beautiful. Okay. How pretty. How pretty. All right, now let's make it even prettier, right? If we're going to do this, we're going to do this right, okay? We're going to do this right. So that way, whoever gets this knows if they can actually eat it. So, okay, so almost all of these are honey applesauce. And then around. Okay. Use or freeze. So today's the 16th, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, so 17th, 18th, 19th. Okay, that's what we're doing. Let's do it this way. That's not normally what I'd put for your shelf life on these when I do these up for other people, but that's what I'm putting on it today. So, so in the cupboards, your bread keeps for 3 to 4 days. In the fridge, you can keep it upwards of 10 days, and in the freezer, you can keep it upwards of 6 months. All right, guys, I am going to let you go while I finish writing these up, and then I'm going to go find some friends, and we're going to go deliver these around the valley and brighten up somebody's day and help continue to spread awareness for Sam and her family so that they can get the help they need. So I love you. Bye.